Because astrophotography takes a completely different approach than taking photos at any other time of day, it is often easy to get tripped up or make mistakes. That is exactly what we're covering in today's video, the top 5 astrophotography mistakes to avoid. Number 1 is going to seem completely insane, but I promise it's worth it. But before we get into that, let's go ahead and start with number 5, the most common astrophotography mistake I see, and that is bad white balance. Simply put, you need to be setting the white balance of your night sky images. Left on auto, it is going to default to a brownish reddish hue 100% of the time. Now, as I talked about it in last week's video, I don't think there is a proper or correct white balance for your night sky images. They can often vary based off of time of day, if there's a little bit of twilight, if there's a little bit of air glow, if there's a little bit of light pollution. A lot of different factors come into the white balance of your night sky photographs, but in general, it tends to look better with more neutral color tones, and oftentimes, for most camera manufacturers, this is around white balance of 3500 to 4000 Kelvin. Regardless of what my white balance is set to when I'm actually out shooting in the field, I often find myself needing to adjust the tint more towards the magenta side in post to achieve a truly neutral look. I think everyone is guilty of this next mistake when they first start doing astrophotography, and that is making the sky too dark. Now, this isn't necessarily a case of underexposing the sky, as it is overexposing the landscape. You often see photos like this on social media, when in reality it should look closer to this. You see this mostly on blue hour blends or light painted images where you have tons of detail in the landscape, but the night sky is completely black. Let's take a second to look at a photo of the Milky Way right here. Now, this was taken in the middle of the night. There was no twilight going on and no artificial light painting. This is not a blend, it's just a single shot. Notice how the only thing we can see is the night sky. The landscape is entirely silhouetted. This gives us the clue that if we are blending images, the landscape should be darker than the night sky. Here is another example, except instead of a silhouette, this time we have exposed for the landscape. And again, notice that even though the landscape is properly exposed, the brightest portion is the night sky. The next astrophotography mistake I see people making is ignoring twilight and only focusing on the Milky Way, which I totally understand. If you're new to astrophotography, then you definitely want to be photographing the most exciting and eye-catching part of the night sky, which is the galactic core of the Milky Way. That's definitely true. But by doing so, by only focusing on that part of the night sky, you're ignoring the other 70% and the other directions, which naturally limits the number of creative compositions that you can take. Just because you don't have the Milky Way in your night sky photograph does not mean a night sky photograph can't work. In fact, some of my favorite and most popular astrophotographs or night sky images were taken well before the Milky Way rose and came into the scene in that sort of twilight period where just a few stars are visible. This is an often overlooked time to photograph the night sky, and it can result in some stunning photographs that are taken with just a single shot. Our number 2 mistake is something I'm going to call mismatched colors, and this is something that you see all the time on social media when you have a blue hour blend or especially when you have a light painted image. Here is a blue hour blend that really illustrates this, where we've got Mobius arch in the foreground and the Milky Way going through it. And while it's an interesting scene, your mind can tell that something is off because the foreground colors are so different from the rest of the image. By cooling down the color temperature of the arch to match the night sky, the photo becomes more harmonious and looks like a single shot rather than 2 separate photographs composited together. Creating a realistic night sky blend definitely takes some time, artistic vision, and some Photoshop chops, so just remember that and have some patience. If you'd like to learn a little bit more about doing a blue hour blend, there is a link in the description for a video I made previously about this. And the number one astrophotography mistake I see people making is not having enough noise. Yes, you heard that right. I'm telling you that your astro photographs do not have enough noise in them. I know this sounds completely insane. Nicholas, there are star trackers and software meant to reduce noise in astrophotography. Why would we want more noise? And yes, while I understand that, while I believe that having a low noise night sky is important, what I'm talking about is when people do blue hour or twilight blends. These are by far the most common methods for creating astrophotography images nowadays because you get stunning results. However, if you are shooting the landscape portion of your blue hour blend at a lower ISO than you took the night sky, when you blend these two images together, there is going to be a very obvious stitch line where it becomes apparent to anyone looking at the image that it is a composite. Star stacking software meant to reduce noise like Sequitur or Starry Landscape Stacker can only reduce the noise in your night sky by about 3 stops. So if you're shooting your night sky at ISO 10,000, the best results you can hope to achieve are a night sky equivalent look to about 1600. Knowing that, if you have a night sky portion of your image shot at what looks like ISO 1600 and try to blend that with a landscape that was shot at ISO 100, that is a huge difference in the amount of noise in the two photographs, and a blend will be very, very obvious. Here is a blue hour blend or composite of the Milky Way above Alstrom Point in Utah, and zoomed out, it looks great. But if I zoom in, we can see that even though I have stacked the night sky to reduce noise, it is still much, much noisier than the landscape below it. To solve this problem, I shoot my night sky and my landscape in blended images at the same ISO. If the final shot ends up a little noisy, so be it. I would rather have a cohesive photograph than to have a blend where one part has lower noise and it is very obviously a composite. In the instances where I have forgotten to increase my ISO when doing a blue hour blend in the field, I will then take it into Photoshop while doing the blend and add noise to that landscape portion of the image so that it can match better. I know it seems crazy, but it truly does work, and it definitely makes a big difference when you print something and hang it on your wall. So hopefully you guys found at least one of these tips helpful. I really do thank you for watching. Happy shooting. I'll see you next week.